Okay. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, Catherine.
So nice to have this time together. And so, where are you from?
I'm from Limbrook,
Oh,
which
Lynbrook.
is Nassau
Okay.
County.
Okay. And how did you find out about us?
I was doing a dog sitting job for someone who had just gone through the program. Her daughter was getting married, and I knew that she had been recently widowed. And as we were walking out of the house, we started chatting about the challenge of going through a milestone without her husband. And I shared with her that I was also a widow. And that's when she was extolling the benefits of being part of the group. She told me about you, and I had never heard of you.
Oh,
And
I'm so sorry. So,
yes,
how long were you married?
I was married just under 20 years,
Okay. And how long are you widowed?
uh, 10 and a half years.
10 and a half years. Wow. You must have been very young when you lost your husband.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
So, do you have children or no?
I do. I have three sons.
Oh, wow.
So,
How old were
yes,
they when your husband passed?
I had two in high school. So one had just turned 15 a couple days before, 17, and one in college
Oh,
who
wow.
he was 20.
So, just to explain to those that are watching, Lauren is in our facilitator program. So you joined so that you could facilitate and help others, and you had no idea what the program was about.
Exactly.
So, what's your opinion of what the program is about, and how would you relate that to what you didn't have? Because just curious, how was it with nothing as when you see what we have for those that are grieving?
Well, one of the things for me that during the program they talk about is, keeping a balance and not over everything, not overworking, overeating, over drinking, overdoing everything to kind of numb out the feelings. And that was how I spent probably the first 8 years of my widowhood.
Oh, wow.
I was overworking. I had, you know, children in college and a mortgage. And uh, so I was working 7 days a week, all day.
I did the same thing
I
because
know.
I didn't have direction also.
So, and um, although I kept a good social life with girlfriends and, different areas, I felt very much alone when it came to any social things where there were couples. I felt like the square peg in the round peg world.
Mm,
And because some of my friends were also feeling the loss of my husband, there was a limit to how much I could talk to them about some of the challenges. And because they were still married and their lives had not changed in the nuclear way that mine did, it was hard to really find the people that I could talk to. And so what I found happening was I kind of retreated into myself. And I think one of the beautiful things of your program is that it's a space for somebody to talk about the things that they may not be able to talk with the people around them, because people around them have their own viewpoint on the loss. And so it's sort of
right.
like you're the bullseye of the target, and your friends are the next ring and the next ring. And it's sort of like you kind of can't go into that ring for support in a lot of ways because they're grieving in a different way.
Right. And with the groups, everyone's grieving. So you see how we all, I always say, like, you're not a Debbie Downer in the group because everybody's got the same story, only, similar that they have lost. So there's not that feeling like you're bringing the bad news to the room.
Mhm.
Everyone's in the same boat. So it's not really sharing the bad news. It's more about the similarities.
And I
And
also like that people have an issue, have a problem, and they can, share it with the group. And sometimes people know, have been in the same kind of circumstance, and you have somebody to bounce ideas off of. You're not looking for somebody to fix it. You're not looking for somebody
Right.
to tell you everything's going to be all right, but it is nice
There is
to
no
be able.
fixing it. Yeah,
Exactly.
I always say that when people come, I can't fix it, but I could give you ways to cope, to help
Mhm.
you with it. And, a lot of the work is on each individual.
Yeah.
We can put everything out there. And if you don't want to do the work, you're not going to do it.
Right.
And if you do, if you want to see yourself move forward, you're going to start putting a lot of work into yourself. There's so many things that I wished I had someone to guide me that was longer than me to show me, okay, I can make it,
Hmm.
And when I do a group and someone says to me, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm like, well, you have to look at the evidence. And the evidence is all the people who have made it,
Right.
like myself, like you made it. So for me, it was also a social thing, like I didn't have. And I remember my husband Scott and I were in the same group, and we went to this Parents Without Partners dance. And it was all people that were like 20, 25 years older than us.
Hmm.
It was so uncomfortable because it was like there was nothing for our age. And I think that's one of the things that I was looking to do besides the bereavement, to also have this connection afterwards, because I think that's so important in moving forward.
And it's hard to walk into, like you walked into that dance with Scott. It's hard to go by yourself. It's hard to not have somebody with you walking in there. And if you don't have somebody who's a widow, or like the connections these people are making, they automatically have somebody that they might be able to convince to go with them.
Yeah, they have 10 people they can convince to go with them.
Exactly.
So when we have gatherings, we have our own gatherings, and there's 10 people at this table, 10 people at that, and they're all meeting each other, but they're not walking into a room full of 180 people and not know anyone. They have their group.
Right.
And we've always felt like that's a good transition before going out socially. You're in this room with all people like yourself who've lost someone. And we know, like, losing a spouse, we lose a lot of our identity. So it's like
Hmm.
when you go to these places, it's like, who am I? What am I doing here? And you feel like a fish out of water.
And it's hard to motivate yourself to, put your shoes on, get in the car and go somewhere if you don't have somebody waiting for you or by your side.
Well, that's why I kind of, try to coach people to join the group, stay with the group, stay connected, um, because it's lonely and it's very hard to meet people that are, we put people by age, to meet
Hmm.
people similar age. So, when you're in high school, yeah, in college, you meet people, but then after that, you like rely on your children, and meeting children's parents, most of them are married.
Right.
So it's very hard to meet somebody you can go out with, and I didn't have that. So I really felt that it was important.
Hmm.
Well, I'm glad that you're connecting with our groups now, and hopefully you'll see how our gatherings are and our future. We have parties, we have a Halloween party typically, and a fundraiser walk, which is a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll get to be part of those things once COVID gets under control.
Hmm.
So it'd be nice for you to join that
Yes, I agree.
going forward. Well, thank you for your time, Lauren,
My pleasure. And
and I
thank you for everything you
appreciate the
do.
sense of you
And hopefully this will convince somebody who's on the fence to
to
come on
join
in.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right, Cap.